Hello and welcome to the GKaiser AGE. My name is Lucian GKaiser and today is the start of my new BuildMechanics series. In these videos, I will be reviewing model kits of mecha and craft from some of my favorite anime and movies, while also discussing the original mechanics from the media that they are shown in. So, let's get ready to deploy with Mithrils Special Response Team Urzu on board their M9 Gernsback Armslaves. Lucian GKaiser, Urzu 14, deploying. We are going to start out with taking a look at the standard model M9 Gernsback version 4 Armslave, a third generation type of Armslave used exclusively by the military group Mithril. The term Armslave is the shortened version of Armored Mobile Master Slave System. They are humanoid-style powered suits operated using a semi-master slave system to coordinate with the pilot, or in this case, master. The average arm slave, or AS for short, is around 8 to 10 meters tall. This places the craft smaller than most mecha in size, and this is why the model kit had to be bumped up to 1/60th scale, so that way it helps match the scale of most 1/144th Gundam mobile model kits. As you can see on this figure, there are a lot of panel lines and details easily on par with most panel lining and detail that you see on a real grade Gundam model kit. And I really love that they did this with these high grade arm slaves, because it really makes them a more rich and a very nice looking kit to have on your shelf, more than most other high grade model kits. The only disappointing thing is that this kit does not come with any decals except for a very select few that are used for things like the visor. And the decals that you see on my particular kits today are ones that I used that were left over from some of my real grade model kits, because I like to use those to help enhance the look of my other model kits. The posability of the M9 is amazing, easily matching, once again, real grade model kits, with double joints not only in the arms but also in the legs. In the show and light novels, this Armslave was designed to maximize the usage of artificial muscle packages that are mostly used in Armslaves in general. But this, combined with the new structure and joints based off of insect and feline design, gives the M9 mobility far beyond most military Armslave models. But this comes with a downside, that the M9's output is so strong it could be comparable to that of the maneuvers of an advanced tactical fighter plane, and because of this, the maneuvers can easily injure, disable, or even kill the pilots if they're not properly trained to control the Armslave correctly. Armslaves are powered by palladium reactors, which give them a greater output than most of the other Armslaves out there when it comes to the M9 model. And this helps power their own electronic conceal system, or ECS. This is a form of active camouflage that uses a rapidly oscillating laser screen to project some sort of distortion around the object that is being concealed, providing near total concealment from radar and other electromagnetic forms of detection, including the naked human eye. The ECS cannot be used though while in full combat mode due to the power it consumes while active, and the Armslave can only move at a reduced rate, and with extended use of the ECS, this can greatly reduce the actual operational time of the Armslave too. The kit does not have any way of showing off this particular feature due to the parts that normally would open up to show the ECS units being so small, but I still love that the kit has so much detail and panel lining on it to really bring out its just amazing look. The kit does come with different hands for holding the weapons, which we'll be looking at next, and I have to say the assembly was very smooth and very fun to do. The joints for the most part are very tight and they fit well, and they don't get very loose at all. Though I have to admit the polycaps connecting the arms to the main body tend to pop out sometimes when I'm posing them at certain ranges, but that can be easily fixed with a little work. Now, let's take a look at the weapons used on the standard M9 Gernsback piloted by Urzu 6, Kurtz Weber, the ace sniper of Mithrils SRT unit. The first weapon we have is the 76mm anti-armor sniper rifle, and Bandai did a perfect job of detailing this beautiful weapon. As the main sniper for the SRT unit, Sergeant Kurtz Weber uses this weapon to take out several enemy armored vehicles and Armslaves with what seems to be armor-piercing explosive rounds, as they are shown penetrating enemy armor, then detonating. The rifle here with the kit has excellent levels of detail, and combined with the figure's posability, the Armslave can be posed even in a sniper style laying down position, as you can see here, and I absolutely love that. For storage, the sniper rifle stand can be taken off the rifle itself and repositioned to be folded up, and then the scope can be moved to the side of the figure as well, so you can fold the barrel up. Just another great little feature Bandai added that perfectly matches with what we see in the show. Once the rifle is folded up, it can be attached to the back of the figure in one of the two holes, once again mimicking what is seen in the anime, and this allows you to stow this weapon and other weapons as well that we'll be looking at later in the video. The next weapon we are looking at is the GECB 40mm assault rifle, the main weapon of the Mithril M9s, and this weapon pretty much works like any assault rifle that would be carried by a normal soldier. Once again, Bandai put a lot of great detail in this weapon and included the holder that can be attached to the rear back skirt of the model kit. The one downside for this particular holder though is that pulling the weapon out or storing it back into place on the holder is a very tight fit, and this can cause your top coat or any kind of coating that's on there to be worn down over time, and you can see some of my decals are even getting pulled off as well. The next weapon we'll be taking a look at is the GRAW 2 monomolecular cutter. It is a combat blade used against other Armslaves in close quarters combat, and also could easily take out a main battle tank, as the edge of the weapon is superheated monofilament designed to cut at a molecular level. The edge of the weapon with this model kit, it comes unpainted, so I had to paint mine, and it comes with a sheath that can be mounted either on the side skirt or mounted on the back skirt of the Armslave using its own specialized mount. Mounted on both sides of the head are AM11 12.7mm chain guns, used as close-in weapon system or CIWS, and they are meant to destroy light targets, enemy ground troops, and intercept incoming missiles or even RPGs, though that would depend on the reaction time of the pilot. The figure replicates them very well, and they even have a detail for the exhaust right behind where the barrels are. Now, the yellow part that is underneath the barrels is a sticker, but I don't mind that, as it's one of the very few that are on this actual kit itself. Alright, so now that we've had a good look at the standard M9 AS, let's go ahead and take a look at the commander type, piloted by Urzu 2, Second Lieutenant Melissa Mao. The M9E006, as it is designated, is a new variant of Gernsback given to Melissa Mao, and has additional electronic warfare equipment, with the most notable difference being the outcrop on its head, which functions as a communications and jamming antenna. Its overall operational battle time is reduced due to the extra power consumption for these new systems, as well as less room for reserve ammunition, which normally would be provided but has now been taken up by the extra electronics. This Armslave model kit matches with the standard model kit with the same posability, but comes with a different variety of weapon options, though one of them is also included with the standard M9 kit as well. This is the AWS-2000 Assault Carbine, which is a prototype weapon never seen used in the show, but I am happy Bandai added it to both kits. For the M9E, the AWS-2000 comes with an extended stock, as you can see here, but does not include the grenade launcher that we'll be looking at on the model that comes with Kurt Weber's actual Armslave. This weapon was meant to be fielded with a configurable assault style barrel, which could be modified depending on the battlefield situation, so you could use it as a short, medium, or long range weapon. Bandai replicates this function of the weapon with great detail, so let's take a closer look now at the one provided with the standard M9 model kit. As you can see, it comes mounted with a grenade launcher that is not included once again with the M9E, due once again to the lack of extra ammo capacity with that particular model of Gernsback in the actual anime. Now, let's change it over to the short-range combat carbine configuration by simply removing the parts like this. And once they're removed, you get a nice, neat, almost submachine gun looking weapon, which I absolutely love the details on. Bandai has really put a lot of effort into detailing everything on these kits, including the weapons, and they didn't even have to add this weapon since it's not really in the show, but it's a pleasure to have it with both kits so that way we have a wide variety of weapons. So let's put this guy back together and move on to the bladed weapons that are carried by the M9E. But before we get to those, I need to cover the other blade that is only included in the model kit box for the standard M9. This is the Royal Ordnance M1108 anti-tank dagger used by all M9 Armslaves, and it is unique because once it impacts and penetrates a target, the blade is designed to explode, causing greater damage. These weapons are stowed within the body side parts, but Bandai left this out of the kit design, so the blade just has to be stowed with wherever you're holding the extra hands and parts for the kits. Now, we visit again the Geotron Electronics GRA-2 monomolecular cutter, but this time we are looking at the longsword version of the weapon, and I love it. I am a huge fan of longswords and greatswords, and this one is very cool looking, even though it is pretty much just a longer version of the short sword that we looked at earlier. The cutter has the same blade as the short sword as we discussed earlier once again, but with this longer blade the weapon can literally cut through a whole main battle tank or other Armslaves. The details on the sheath are excellent for this kit, and the sword easily slides in and out but will stay in the sheath easily. Due to the size of the weapon though, it has to be stowed on either the side skirts or one of the high back mounts on the actual figure. The M9E comes with the same 40mm assault rifle as well as the skirt clip for it, but because the ASW2000 has the extended stock, you can actually mount it on the back much like the sniper rifle. You simply fold up the stock as seen, and then use the tab on it to mount it to the back of the figure. And while I really like this, I don't like the fact that the stock only comes with the M9E, leaving the ASW2000 Assault Carbine for the standard M9 to kind of just sit to the side when it's not being used. The final item that is only available with the M9E model kit is the XM18 wire gun that is mounted on both of the forearms of any and all of the M9 Armslaves and is used as a way to grapple through rough or high level terrain like mountainous terrain, or it can be used to tie up enemy Armslaves. The kit comes with a rubber covered wire that is posable, and simply to install it you just have to lift off one of the forearm pieces on either of the kits to set it up. But the wire gun line only comes with the M9 Commander model kit, which is kind of disappointing. But it looks fantastic when you have it set up, and of course, like I said, since it's a bendable wire, you can bend it into different shapes and poses, and even have it possibly wrapped around the arm of an enemy Armslave if we ever get a model kit of those. I really love these high-grade Armslave model kits that Bandai has brought to us. I'm very much looking forward to more high-grade model kits on this level. The amount of detail and effort that they put into these kits is fantastic, and I hope that transitions into not only future Armslave model kits, but into future Gundam Mobile Suit model kits as well. Now, you can find these kits on the Big Bad Toy Store website, HobbyLink Japan's website, and Gundam Planet website. You may even find it on the USA Gundam store. I haven't seen them there yet, but they may be releasing it on there as well. But you may have to back order them or hope that they are restocked soon, as this is a very popular kit and they are selling out very quickly. So just keep checking and seeing when they're back in stock. The price is very affordable, being around $23 on HobbyLink Japan and around $30 on the US websites, so it really depends on how much you're willing to pay for shipping to get them in hand. Again, even if you're not a fan of the Full Metal Panic anime series, these kits are still fantastic and fun to build military mecha. With their posability and of course with the ease of the coloring on them, since they're a nice darker shade, it makes it easily able to be colored in a particular style of camouflage or even a particular color frame that you prefer for your own military force. With the posability, again, you can put them in pretty much any kind of position that you would like that replicates anything that you've seen in the anime itself. And I just absolutely adore that they basically have the same range of motion almost as a normal human being. And they replicated that well from the actual mecha from the show. So again, thank you all for joining me here in the GKaiser AGE build mechanics for the M9 Gernsback Standard and Commander type Bandai 160 scale model kits. Expect more build mechanics content soon, along with more Gundam build mechanics as well. Also, there will be a series dedicated to more figure reviews because I have a huge collection of action figures that I definitely want to show off to you guys that I think you will absolutely love. Now, don't forget to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe, and then hit that bell icon to know when I have new content up. Also, check out my Twitter, Facebook page that are going to be linked below here for you, and all my other videos on my channel as well. This is Lucian GKaiser Urzu 14, signing out until the next battle.